Okay, so portfolio feedback. What were the actual comments that I got about my illustration portfolio from Bologna Children's Book Fair? And do I have any ideas about how I want to take my illustrations forward? Thank you so much for the question, Toad Milk. Let's dive deep into this. I had a total of 5 official portfolio reviews held in Bologna. There were 2 from university teachers, 2 from creative agencies, and 1 from a publisher. And here's the feedback that I got from all of them. The first person that I spoke to was Martin Salisbury, who is from the Cambridge School of Arts. He took interest in the Wait and See project that I created and wanted to kind of see a storyboard mapped out and advised me to do roughs and a dummy book for it. He also mentioned that I should really draw more observational drawings, learn to draw through live objects. The second is from Elizabeth Dunbar from Hollins University, and she pointed out there's just too much happening in a page. It needs to be clearer. I need to get rid of the texts in my portfolio, and she's not interested in the process. She suggested that I play more with colour and avoid black. She wanted to see more finished pieces like final art and also character sheets. She likes the vibe of my folktale pieces and my mum life piece, but it feels like they've been done before. Saying that, she did like the direction of my Inktober piece as well as my Wait and See pieces. She said it was youthful and joyful. She loves my illustration of my daughter. She feels naturally drawn to them and suggests that I bring her more into my work. And finally, she mentions that she likes my messy, wonky drawings, but I needed to bring more life and textures to them. So for example, this bear over here, I would need to study more anatomy to kind of correct the shapes. Next is the creative agency feedback. So the first agent I spoke to is Ed from It's Me, and he said that my illustration style is raw, it needs to be polished, storytelling and depth is entertaining and morally good. I'm close to being signed. The second agent I spoke to is Lucy Luddington from Luddington Creative. I didn't get a review straight on the spot, but it did turn into a mentorship after the fair, and I show how my art actually progressed and what I learned in this video, and we dive into agents and mentors, how to approach them, how to prepare for them in this video here. But for the purpose of this video, in short, Lucy was wonderful. Because we had more time, it was more of a collaborative approach, so she tapped into what I enjoyed and tried to see where that actually takes us. I'll leave that for this video over here. The publisher category, I spoke to one person, and I'm not going to name this publisher. It was a very quick review, and I almost felt like I was wasting their time with my portfolio. Very, very abrupt. They wanted to see ideas and asked me to send a PDF and gave no feedback. And this is when I started to feel the big difference between the working relationships who are nurturing and full-on business. I have been to the publisher portfolio reviews that were dotted around the halls, and I must say the vibes were less harsh. It was still a quick portfolio review and a very polite thanks, but you're not for us. And I didn't really get much of a feedback on the artistic development, but the vibe was different. Saying so, I have seen publishers with more of a nurturing approach. This is just my experience with this particular publisher from Bologna official portfolio reviews. So out of all this portfolio review, what did I learn? First, about the guidance, and then the summary, feedback, and how I'm going to take my art forward. So through this type of experience, it really taught me about it's not just about getting advice anywhere. Of course, like when I was just starting, I didn't know where to get advice, so I just asked like anywhere, literally. But this then really informed me it's not about getting advice anywhere. It's about understanding where you are, what advice are you actually looking for, and who are you getting it from. So in my mind, I've got the three pots: university teacher guidance, who focuses on developing the art concept, the artistic development, how to level up technically, and it's more about creating the artwork. Then there are the creative agents that also focuses on developing art concepts, but with the business in mind. Still nurturing, but less technical on how to actually create the art. Then there is the third pocket, and that's the publishers, who literally focuses on the business side. There's no technical guidance. They expect you to bring the ideas, bring the artwork, know how to create the artwork, and they are more interested in making what sells and less about your artistic development. Saying that, I have seen publishers with more of a nurturing approach as well. And that's why it's really important to be clear who you're getting into business with and ensure that working relationship it matches, ideally. For me, open communication is so important. Being able to ask questions and feel comfortable is so important. So I can now really understand when they say the working relationship is it's like a marriage between a publisher and you, or an agent and you. It's a slow, organic teamwork type of relationship. And then when you find a good publisher or a good agent, then you kind of like stick with them for life. I have been a buyer and a product developer before, so being on the business end of the stick has really helped me understand where publishers are coming from. This is where mindset, confidence, determination, and experience really come into play for me. If I was just starting out, that publisher portfolio review would have just completely crushed my soul. And that's where I think the agents have a really important role to play. They kind of filter out the riffraff between the business end, the hard facts, numbers, like what can we make to sell, and also nurture the artists, the creatives, the ones who need to have that inner child to play and to kind of follow their intuition and curiosity. I have mentioned, I believe in this video before, that as an illustrator, I recognize we need both. We need the artist's side as well as the business side. We need to be able to tap in, keep that inner child artist alive, and really do the things that fulfill us, but also keep a business head on. Treat things professionally. There are things that we probably don't want to do that we need to do. Strategy, being aware of the trends, the market, how things are shifting, etc., etc. So to have the illustrator, it really does need to have both sides. That was my thoughts on the guidance. Now, in summary, based on the feedback, if I want to take my portfolio and my illustrations forward, I would need to, first of all, change the way I present my portfolio. So make it clearer, more art, less text. I need to show more ideas, stories, create character sheets and dummy books. I need to study things like texture, anatomy, and figure out what finished, polished work or look actually looks like for me, which ultimately means leveling up my illustration skills overall. And to that, I am thinking, and I believe it's to draw more through observation, keep following my intuition, play with materials and techniques to see what I consistently reach out for, work on my fundamentals, technical drawing skills, and visual storytelling skills. I've actually started observational drawing. I did it for 100 days. This is my sketchbook flip through video, and I share what I learned there. And in my next video, I will be talking about my 4 months with SVS, School of Visual Storytelling Fundamental Art course. I can really see my art change by learning perspective and shapes from this course. It's been 4 months. I've only just touched the tip of the art course, so I'm really excited to kind of take you on that journey with me. If you wanted to see more Bologna videos, I created a playlist over here. I really hope this video has helped. Like, was it obvious to you that we get guidances from different people? I mean, now I distilled it like this, I feel like it makes sense. But when I first started, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna get reviews everywhere because I don't know where to find them. I'd love to hear what you think. Like, was this structure of guidance obvious to you? Did differentiating the guidance like this help you see things differently as well? That's my 2 pence. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.